So, guys, finally, the mighty presidency of Ramaphosa has spoken. We know in the past couple of days the president has been under a lot of pressure to respond to that bombshell of a press conference that was done by General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi. And the president heard about these things when he was attending a summit in Brazil that the national dialogue has begun. And his team told him that apparently General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi has started the national dialogue and people are speaking at home. And the president said that I'm taking the earliest flight out. I need to be in South Africa as soon as possible. So yesterday, the presidency finally communicated to us, the peasants, that on Sunday we are summoned by the Holy Ramaphosa. So the statement that was released by the presidency says that President Ramaphosa to brief the nation on national security matters. President Ramaphosa will on Sunday, the 13th of July 2025, address the nation on developments arising from a public statement made by KwaZulu-Natal Commissioner General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi that details allegations against the senior political and South African Police Service leadership. President Ramaphosa was attending a BRICS summit in Brazil on Sunday, the 6th of July 2025, when General Mkhwanazi outlined numerous allegations at a press briefing. The president undertook to attend to this development on his return from Brazil in view of implications for the national security. President Ramaphosa has been seized with this matter in recent days and will, following various consultations, take the nation into his confidence at 7 p.m. on Sunday, the 13th of July 2025. The president's message will be broadcasted and streamed on various platforms. So this is the statement that was released by the presidency that, guys, on Sunday we are summoned. Because for a very long time, people have been frustrated in this country to say that, guys, General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi spoke on Sunday. And today and tomorrow it's Sunday. And the president is only addressing us after 7 days. And many people have been very frustrated to President Ramaphosa. And I know that there are people who actually had wished that the president had responded earlier on these allegations that were made by General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi. So, guys, speaking about the allegations that were made by General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi, yesterday I was watching the podcast of Dr. Sizwe Mpofu-Walsh, SMWX, and he was speaking with the brilliant Aubrey Mashik. And they were speaking about the political developments, but there's a question that was posed by Aubrey on this podcast. And man, oh man, this question actually made me think about a lot of things. And I just want us to take a brief moment and listen to what Aubrey Mashik says. Listen here.
When an actor makes a decision, such an actor does not know in advance what forces he is going to unleash and how those forces will unleash on that actor and other actors. Similarly, by taking the step you took today, you can look at what I'm saying in two ways. It seems there has been a campaign to undermine him. There are allegations of extrajudicial killings that those who work under him have engaged in. There is the allegation that he tried to thwart an investigation into a senior correctional services official. Now, if that is true, those who made the decision to do that to him did not know in advance what forces they were unleashing and how those forces will affect them, Mkhwanazi and others. But as I say, this applies to Mkhwanazi too. He does not know in advance what forces he is unleashing by doing what he did yesterday. So the possibility is that in the end, both Mkhwanazi and his enemies will lose control over this matter. And it may explode in the faces of both Mkhwanazi and his opponents or enemies. But more importantly, or worse, it will explode in the face of the country. Precisely because we don't know what forces have been unleashed by what Mkhwanazi did yesterday. We don't know how far the damage will go. I watched you talking to Judge Cameron. And one of the things he says to you is that when he looked at the Thabo Bester matter, it became clear to him that the rot goes all the way to the top. The question is, how far to the top does it go? For me, that's the question. And I will repeat something, and I will only repeat it not to lend credence to the allegations made by Mkhwanazi, but just to give those who are watching different ways of looking at what may be happening here. And I will repeat this because I wrote about it in an article for News 24. I wrote an article in which I expressed unhappiness about the fact that the president had moved the intelligence function to his office. And that made me very unhappy. So unhappy, I called News 24 and I said, I want to write an article about this. In the article, I asked one question. And my question became the headline of the article. What if the head of state is the primary threat to state and national security?
What if? What if? Because guys, me personally, I don't want to lie. It's hard for me to actually sit here and believe that the Minister of Police could actually disband that political killing task team without the knowledge of the president. I don't think it's possible. And remember what General Mkhwanazi said, that we send this task team to Johannesburg. And this task team in Johannesburg, it has exposed a syndicate. And this syndicate, in its pockets, it has the politicians, and it has some people that are working in government. And some of those people are in parliament. And the fact that this task team has exposed that syndicate, this is the reason why this task team was shut down. So if General Mkhwanazi, these things that he's saying about this task team and discovering this syndicate in Johannesburg, is it possible that something like that can actually happen without the knowledge of the president? And I guess this is what I was asking when we were reacting to that interview of Fikile Mbalula, when Fikile Mbalula said that the president is coming back to deal with these matters. I wish that a journalist of ENCA could have been specific with the Secretary General to ask him, what is it exactly that the president is going to deal with? Is the president going to deal with the fact that General Mkhwanazi came out with this information to the public? Or is the president going to deal with these issues that were mentioned by General Mkhwanazi? Because I believe those are two different things. And when you say that the president is going to deal with these matters, he should have been specific. And I felt like the journalist that was interviewing Fikile Mbalula did a huge disservice, because this is where you actually get to understand things, by wanting these people to actually be specific. And she never asked Fikile Mbalula about the specifics about of what he says when he says that the president is going to deal with this matter. So right now, when Aubrey says that, what if the president is the primary suspect? What if the president is the number one threat to our national security? Then where do we go? Where do we go? Because I've been watching the news about this guy, Vusimusi Ketmatlala, this entrepreneur, allegedly who is an associate of the minister, and the minister in the statement that he released yesterday says that he has never met Ketmatlala, but General Mkhwanazi says that this guy is an associate of the minister. And you remember that the minister of police also said that he doesn't know the figure that General Mkhwanazi was speaking about, this guy that is called Brown Mokhotsi, but the minister turned around to say that, guys, I said I don't know Brown Mokhotsi, but I know Brown Mokhotsi and he's just a comrade. He is not an associate of mine. I saw the stories about Vusimusi Ketmatlala and the fact that this guy he's in jail, but I don't think that the real players actually get to jail. I don't think that Vusimusi Ketmatlala is that boss that they are trying to portray to us as I think that there are people actually behind him. Because I don't think that the real players will go to jail. But that is just me, guys. This is just a conspiracy theory. This is conspiracy theory. And I think this is a very important question that was asked by Gogo Obrimashik about what if the president of this country is the number one Tsotsi, is the number one threat to our national security? What if? Then how is the country going to deal with this? Then how he, as the president, actually going to deal with this? I mean, like, Sunday will be very interesting to see what the president is going to do. I cannot wait to hear what the president is going to do on Sunday. And knowing Ramaphosa, I know that he's going to disappoint us. He's going to disappoint us. I think that the president is going to tell us that, guys, we are going to launch an investigation and we are going to test these allegations that have been made by General Mkhwanazi. And they know that in time, the people of this country would have forgotten about the fact that the general went out in public and spoke about the corruption in government. So this is a very important question. It is a very important question. And I've seen some people on the comment sections saying that, Thomas, don't look at Senzo Mchunu, man. Senzo Mchunu is not the big fish. The big fish might be the president. People have been saying this. And these are the consequences of Ramaphosa not responding in time. He's not responding in time. And people are frustrated because people know that the more the president delays to deal with this matter, anything can happen to the evidence. The evidence can be destroyed. It can be tampered with. It can be destroyed. And I guess this is one of the reasons why people have been very frustrated to see how the president has been dealing with this matter. People had actually expected the president to have addressed these matters a long time ago. The president has been in the country for 6 days.
The head of state is the primary threat to state and national security. That's what I asked.
Sure.
And then said, if one day it turns out, and here I'm not talking about President Ramaphosa,
Sure.
but he's the one who made that decision at that time.
Yeah.
But I'm not talking about him necessarily.
No, guys, we are talking about him, man. We are talking about him.
He's not our first president, and he's not going to be our last. So I'm making the general point that
Right. Let's assume
whoever is the head of state turns out to be the primary threat to state and national security. It will mean that if it turns out what General Mkhwanazi said is true, then we are ill-prepared. We were always ill-prepared to deal with the revelations. And one of the reasons why ill-prepared is because we took the intelligence function and we put it in the office of the president.
So, guys, what if the president is the primary threat? Then how do you think this thing will be resolved? Let's assume, let's assume that the president is the number one threat. Man, like this is like sometimes when things like this happen, man, I wish the people that actually voted for these people to be in power could actually see the consequences of their votes. And it is said that in this country, many people do not like, they hate the news, they don't like this sort of podcast, unfortunately. And here we are talking about things that we are living with. That we are living with. What if the president is the primary threat to the national security? Guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mabaso. I will see you next time. Bye bye.